When Jeff Bezos became the world's richest man in 2017, one of the big questions was, how much of his enormous fortune would be donated? The early answer was very little. Since his divorce with Mackenzie Scott in 2019, that amount has grown, but only slightly. Scott, on the other hand, has been turning heads, writing checks, and giving away her money faster than anyone else in history, and in ways that are busting myths about philanthropy. Bezos has often sounded conflicted about being a philanthropist.
This was not a childhood dream of mine. I did not grow up hoping to be a philanthropist.
And even joking.
Well, yeah, if there's anything left after I finished building Blue Origin.
From 2000 through 2010, Bezos and his wife made no public gifts. Over the next 7 years, as Amazon.com explodes in size, they gave less than $70 million. Far less than 0.1% of their fortune. One thing that could have been slowing Bezos down is that he was still running Amazon.com while starting a space company and buying the Washington Post. Now that he's stepped down as CEO, that could change. Other mega philanthropists like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and Bill Gates got serious about their giving only after they stepped away from the businesses that made them so wealthy. When the spotlight landed on Bezos as the richest man, some of his cash started to trickle out. His 2019 divorce from Mackenzie Scott seemed to change things. Scott, now independently one of the richest people on Earth, immediately pledged to give away most of her fortune. Bezos makes a lot of promises and even starts a new initiative in February 2020 called Bezos Earth Fund, committing to give away $10 billion to fight climate change. Some critics say this is greenwashing and a PR exercise to distract from Amazon.com's huge carbon footprint. In July 2020, Scott reveals that she's given away $1.7 billion to 116 small organizations with no strings attached, breaking norms about how fast you can give money away and to whom it should go. In November 2020, Bezos gives $791 million of the $10 billion Earth Fund promise, mostly to traditional environmental charities. Notably, in the time it took him to figure out how to give away $791 million, he made more than $50 billion. While Scott's fortune grew about $25 billion last year, she set an unprecedented pace of giving to smaller working charities. In December, she gave another $4.2 billion gifts to nearly 400 groups, bringing her 2020 total to almost $6 billion, likely an annual record for a living person. The difference between Bezos and Scott is perhaps the difference between old and new expectations of philanthropy in a world where a handful of people have accumulated astronomical fortunes. They both have the ability to transform the nonprofit sector. What's less clear, looking at a timeline of their giving so far, is what issues they really care about, how quickly their ever larger fortunes will be deployed, and what difference it might ultimately make for a troubled world.